Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Len Campbell, and for many years I was a staff in Toledo District. I have now retired and I've come back to talk to you about food application revolutions. Yes, that is my subject now, and I'm going to start right away. So food app revolution, what's that all about? It's a common outside in most cities. Young men on bicycles and motorbikes with boxes on their backs marked Uber Eats or Deliveroo, and most of them take absolutely no heed whatever of traffic regulations I've noticed, so I steer clear of them. But delivering food now is still a big business nowadays, especially for millennials who have not much inclination to cook and probably not much time either. It's an expanding market as well in Europe and in Asia. It's such a big deal. In fact, yes, it is. This sector of all-demand personal service, so that's meals, rice, even massage, all of this amounts to a culture revolution. And revolution happens in the streets. So this is one. Recently in London, there was also a protest outside the Uber Eats office. Why were there protests? Because the rules have changed. The basic rate for delivering each meal has been cut. Now, this tends to happen. These platforms do trick drivers, couriers, or so on, and so employ contractors and not employees. So they can change the terms anytime they like. And that is after all the gig economy. What's the strategy? The strategy here is to offer meals as cheaply as possible. And so that's the cost per delivery goes down. The companies compete with each other. The aim is to push the price down so far that you could persuade clients to stop cooking at home altogether. Could that be that possible? Well, there are those who say yes, it is possible. At all, you can compare this app-based delivery with people buying ready-made clothes in shops or online rather than making their own clothes. What about supply chains and mass consumption? At home, cooking just might go the same way. Now, of course, an on-demand amount is attractive. Many people live in a small flats. We reach this difficult time. It's much easier to order a meal temporary in your kitchen. However, there is a cost. It's estimated that a two-person meal from a UK restaurant costs about £90 sterling on average. Compared with buying the food and then cooking it at home, the cost on average will be £6. And how should it all work? Well, you need a cheap and flexible labor pool. There is one, for example, in New York City, where there are some 18,000 app-based drivers. There is no employment benefits, no sick pay, no paid leave. So labor costs go down, but it still does need some refining. Restaurants tend to be dispersed all over the city. They don't all together in a hub, for example, the way Amazon works. So the couriers have to travel around to pick up the meals. Now some companies are looking at a possible solution here and already built up a cooking center in car park, for example, so that the meals can be prepared centrally. But The client then order the meal, might choose the meals from different restaurants. These meals will then be cooked in Asian kitchens and delivered by a single courier. Does that sound a bit futuristic to you? Well, there's more to come. The atomic cost efficient possible way of making a real success out of this story. The cost-efficient dream is of robots cooking the meals and drones delivering them. So no more human beings, no more fuss about labor, no more fuss about working hours. That's how it might be. But of course, there's a human cost of things as it all revolution. What about the drivers? What about the restaurants? So there are some serious concerns. It just might turn out that this dream could just perhaps become a nightmare after all. Thank you. After many cameras meals over the winter, I have a desire to experiment with plant-based dishes. Spring arrives and I was treating fresh, healthy food. There's been much research showing that eating more plant-based foods is better for our bodies and our plant. In the US, two top leading causes of death are heart disease and cancers. Many health experts have linked to health issues diet. So I committed to eating just plant-based foods for 1 whole week. 2 decades ago, I was a vegetarian, so I already had some recipes of mine. And elementary cooking routine. I sought online for tasty recipes and found one interesting ingredient, cashew. Overnight, the next day you can plant them with different spices and water and a little water and make cashew cheese. One of my favorite recipes include 1 cup of raw cashews. So overnight, drain and rinse. And then you add 2 tablespoons of lemon squeeze, a squeeze teaspoon garlic powder, a half teaspoon of salt, ground black pepper, and a cup of water. Put in a blender. It's very good sandwiches or spread on crackers. There's a crucial ingredient. It is because it adds a salty, nutty flavor to food, and also have B12 important vitamins, protein, eggs, dairy, and some fortified cereals. I love making a big bowl of popcorn, adding international along with amino acids. Big falafel is also easy to make. Have with children. At bridge, I make rice bowls with veggies. They are part of white or brown rice. Sauce up any vegetable you have in your refrigerator. Top it all with a delicious sauce. Several sauce options. Teriyaki sauce, teriyaki sauce, and cheese sauce. I try to avoid recipes with lots of sugar. I try to replace sugar with milk or carbonated. Often people ask, how do I eat plant-based food if I offer some filling protein-rich foods that you can include are tofu, tempeh, and beans. Tofu and tempeh are germ plant, but and delicious. You can also fry tofu and tempeh. Trying to avoid lots of oil in your diet. To bake them. Once again, you get to a happy of having and making up some of these recipes. It becomes easier to eat a plant-based diet and cut down or even eliminate animal products altogether. There's nothing like picking fresh vegetables from your garden and using them for your new recipe. Some easy vegetables to grow: kale, carrot, lettuce, carrot, garlic. It's also easy to grow herbs inside pots and having it already ready to pick where you cook it. Some of these plants and herbs can grow in small pots right on your porch. If you don't have a lot of room, you make a garden, you can put it in your kitchen or in the sunny window. Growing some on your own food makes much more inspiring to cook new recipe and experience with different meals.